So glad you dropped by today. My name is Lynda Phippen, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. Today we're going to look at a set that I've been looking at for quite some time now, and I just wasn't quite sure how to use it, but I am pleased with the end result, and I'm going to share my ideas with you. But before we get started, I do want to shout out to my big sister on her birthday today. So happy birthday, and let's just get started with today's cards. Just get a few of these things straightened up here and out of our way. Okay, so the name of the card, the name of the set is Delicate Petals, and I guess I was thrown by this lacy piece here, and anyway, I did look at it for a while and try some different ideas. So I hope you learned something new and that you enjoy today's video. So these are the pieces that we'll be working with today. So here are some flower petals, and these are the dies, and it comes with these two leaves and also more of a vein leaf, but I didn't use them today. And the two dies that are here are from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. So I just used these two. And this die is called the Flower Market, and it is a complete background die. And when you cut it out, it looks like this. So let's get started. And the first card that we're going to do is this one here, and so it's a little bit of blending brushes, and it says wishing you a lovely birthday. Well, actually it says wishing you a lovely birthday to you. So that's what we're going to do today, or right now. So I'm using this Stamparatus without the panel because I have two sheets of paper that just need to be stabilized for this particular technique. So you've seen me do this and lots of other people, and you've probably done this yourself. So the three colors that we're going to use our blending brushes are Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Real Red. And it's not necessarily to make a sunset, but the three colors go together very nice. So we'll start with the daffodil, and we're just going to get some on our background. Now this frame is not going to be used because what I did was I used the inside of this for the inside of the card, inside panel. So there's our first color, and then we're going to blend some pumpkin pie. You see how nice these magnets are holding this in place? I guess I could have used some tape, but this is what I thought of, and that's what I was happy with the way it really cooperated. And then we have our Real Red at the top. Now I find when you're doing blending that you really need to go over the colors together so that they blend better and they're not, you know, they're more of a blend than they are three colors individually. So sometimes it just takes a couple of layers to get it to blend the way you really want it to. So I think I'm happy with the orange and yellow. The red just looks like it needs a little more persuasion. So we'll get it a little darker at the top. And then I'll get this pumpkin pie to okay. So I think that looks okay. So let me just close up my ink pads here. Okay, and then what I did, because we can take this off now. Oh, see, I did use a little extra tape. Little faith. Okay, actually we don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to take the Stamparatus away, clean off my black ink so I don't get that off over on everything. And what I did was I used the flower stamp, and actually I'm going to do it this way. And I put the dark color near the top. There we go. Now I do want to clean off my stamp right away, just because I have, I'm going to use it again and I don't want to forget. So here are the pieces. And we're going to maybe let that dry just for a minute. So for the inside, this is what I cut out and used this for the frame for the front, and then used the white for the inside. So nothing goes to waste. And then just stamped in black, which there's something about black and white. It's just very stunning. So we just, again, put this on the inside so that gives the front a little moment to just dry. So that's the inside of the card. Then we have the birthday wish, wishing a lovely birthday to you. And we will put this on. The black frame, which really brings out the stamped image and nicely frames the colors. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just put that on the front. And I already put the dimensions on the sentiment. And I did the sentiment twice so that it has a black frame for the white and black sentiment. So I put that centered. And then I just wanted to put a few of these black leaves on. So I think I'm going to do those in glue. So the die cut really is quite nice because there's actual holes through the leaves. It's a little hard to see. On the card, but in real life, whoops. Okay, and then some dimensions. These are opal rounds, they're nice big ones. So I put one at the top, and that one didn't follow with me. One there, and then one at the bottom here. So there is card number 1. So I hope you like blending. Ink blending is really, really, really nice to be able to do. Okay, so our second card is for you. These are the sentiments that come with the stamp set, and I really like these two colors together. It is the Pacific Point and the Sahara sand. So they look very nice together. So I did a little bit of my homework here and did some pieces. So we'll do it this way. So we'll just, before we get started, because we want it to dry, I went ahead and stamped this on here, but to color it in, I did a little bit of watercolor. So I have some of the mess here. These are the water painters that come, that Stampin' Up provides. This one is the thinner one, and there is a much wider, thicker one, and I'll show you the difference. And then there's a flat one, and they are very fun to work with. So you fill it up with water. In this case, I used some of the ink refill, but you can go back and forth between your stamp pad. You just don't want to add water to your stamp pad. So I'm just squeezing a little water, and you'll notice that it was white when I started, so they wash out really, really well. And you just want to have a little cloth to make sure that you don't have too much ink on. And so one of them I did a little bit darker. So if you don't like it being quite so dark, you simply just wipe more paint off. So you can see it getting lighter as I go. Now this is not shading or anything, but the nice thing about the stamps is that they have lots of shade, lots of lines in them, so it comes through like you've been an amazing painter. So, you know, take the credit. So let's see if we get one a little darker. So there's nothing fancy about it, although people that do watercolors do an amazing job, but that won't be me. So we're almost done here. You could very easily put some more shading in. Certainly would be nice. Okay. So I'm just going to wipe my brush off, but if you put it under the water, under your tap, it'll clean up very nicely. So there we go, and I used some old olive for the leaves, and this is all stamping. There's no die cutting in this one at all. So all I did was stamped away where you think leaves would be. And we know that leaves are everywhere, so there's no right and wrong way to do them. But you want to just make sure you get some little ones in there as well. Because we want our plants to be growing all the time. And you want leaves on them. There we go. And then there is this interesting little piece of I don't know, it's like a greenery, but I'm going to do it in sahara sand just to give it a little different color. I'm not quite sure, maybe like a baby's breath or something. So I just kind of put it around. Again, there's no right or wrong way. I'm just gonna, and we'll put one more up here. And the sentiment, just really simple, just for you. And it's just a matter of deciding where you want the top of your card to be. Okay, so I think that's pretty much dry. So we're just going to add some kind of put the card itself together. And then I just put on these lovely champagne rhinestones to give it a little pizzazz. So I put the big ones on the big flowers, 2 mediums on the next size flower, and then 1 tiny one by the sentiment itself. I'm going to put it on top on this one. And then on the inside, always have to look. You think you could remember, but oh no. Okay, so the Sahara sand is used for this little bit of a background, and I use the same stamp, except I did it in blue. Isn't that a pretty color? I think it's very, very nice. And so because I'm not doing it separately, I'm just going to not go over the page because I don't want to get it over the Sahara sand. So we'll just do it a little differently. You notice when you do cards and you're doing a couple of the same style, they don't always look the same, and that's okay. And that is almost completed. We'll just get that on the inside. And that will be our card number 2. But these colors really look pretty together. Very nice. So there we go. Card number 2. And we have one final card to do. And this is with the die cuts. So there we go. Some of the stamp sets just have so many options in them, and it tests your brain, but that's okay. So this is the full design of the flower market. Even though I've said it already. Oh my. Now when I was doing it, I did it with glue, and of course I get it all over my fingers. So I thought I would try it with the adhesive backing, which is like 2-sided tape. And so you put it on your what you want to die cut on the back. You take off one layer so that it sticks to your cardstock, and then you do your die cutting, and then when you're finished die cutting, you just pull it off. and then it sticks onto your cover, your front cover, and you don't have ink all over your fingers. And then what I did was I kept all the little pieces that fell out, and I used them for the inside of the card. Now these were a little trickier to get the backing off, but you know, it's doable. Okay, so there is our first part. Now what I did for these die cuts, you could glue them, but I used the brads that came out this year, so it makes it quite nice. But what I also did was when I positioned where I wanted my flowers after I put them together, I just made a little pencil mark where I'm going to put my brads. So let's assemble our flowers first. And I did lots of different combinations, so there's no right and no wrong way. So let's do the biggest one first. So we'll start with something small. And this is the in color vellum that is called fresia, and that's the backing of the of our card as well, our card base. So this vellum is shimmery and it has a sparkle to it, so it looks very, very nice. So I did want to have one darker color on the back. Okay, so there's our first flower. The second one I did with vellum on the back this time. And what you could also do to add some color to oh, there it is. Some color, if you wanted to add some dimension, is take a dauber and just get it into your grape, gorgeous grape, and just go over some of the leaves a little bit so they're not all solid white. So I did that for a few of them. Here, let me do it to this one as well. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just make them gorgeous grape? But now they're two colors because you couldn't really get the white on there. So another brad, and in this package of brads, they're white and black, and they just have different, they're called round and square, so some of them are square. There are white square ones, and black square ones, and black round ones. So that is a fun product. So we've got yellow, and then we'll just put a dark purple on the inside, and that will be flower number 2. And then flower number 3 was just 2 of the colors. And how I guess I shouldn't have opened those. What I did was just a piece of packing. I don't even know where I got it from, but you know how we save things. And I just used my pick tool and just made 3 little holes after I had decided where I wanted to put them. And then you just stick them into the holes. and it will now be part of your sentiment. Now if they don't stay where you want, of course you could always put some glue. So there's number 2 flower. And where did I do with my 3rd one? Oh, there it is. It's like looking for your phone. You just put it down and you can't remember where it is. So then you use your landline to find it. So there we go. We have some flowers on there. Let me just bring it up a little higher. Very pretty. And then we just need some dimensions to go on the back. And I put the dimensions on the back of the brads just to keep them from sticking out behind the sentiment. There we go. I got 3 of those. So this is a big label. So you want to make sure that you have lots of dimensions. Okay, so some of these are off already. Okay, so then I just stuck it in the middle. And what I used this time for the for the decorations are these here. They're called loose flowers, and they have some pretty purple ones in it. So I just grabbed 3, 2 big ones and a small one, and used glue dots to put them on. So there are other colors in there. And glue dots, look at that. So the glue dots look a little bigger than what you want, but you know what? You just kind of roll it up a little bit, stick it on the back, and there we go. And of course it sticks to your finger. And the same thing with this small one. It looks like it's too big, but you know, if you just kind of squish it up a little bit, it will back onto that. And oh, I've got it all ready to go. So these are the pieces that came out of the front that have the backing on them. And you could hand draw some stems on them and a leaf or 2. And we stick that on there. And there is card number 3. Now, just before I show you all the cards again, another part of this particular die are these petals, and I think that's part of what kind of scared me, but I was playing with them, and you know, you just layer them and put them together. So I mean, that would look lovely on the front of that card. The other thing is the stamp. There's a big stamp, and I had to do several practice samples before I got it to look like a flower, at least one that was some kind of looking okay. The first flower I did, I put the the petals the wrong way. But I thought, well, that could be a flower. But after I looked in the catalog, I'm like, okay, so that does look better. But, you know, don't be afraid of experimenting, and if it doesn't quite look right, you just keep trying. And that's the fun about being creative. So thank you for dropping by, and I hope you enjoyed these cards. And of course, these patterns can go with any card. So there we go. 3 cards, let's put them this way. 3 cards for today. And I really did enjoy making these cards because it made me think, and a little bit out of my comfort zone. But anyway, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for subscribing. It's very exciting to see the viewer base grow. So, you know, the goal is to inspire people. Eventually, if you need a demonstrator, you know someone who does and lives in Ontario, you know, just let them know that I'm here to help them out in any way. So, excuse me, have a great week. I know our new catalogs are coming out very shortly. Ours are in the mail from Canada, so they will be here by the end of the week. So hopefully I will have something to show you that's brand new by the end of the week. Anyway, have a great week. Be safe and enjoy these cards. Bye for now.